It's been great so far. Seamless, it's not something you want to think about every day. You just want it to work.
Yeah, my name's Tim Gray, and how my life has changed. I guess it's a year into it. It's nice to have the power coming from the sun instead of coming from a pipe to run the furnace and to run my other electrical things in the house. Yeah, it's been great. I think met my expectations for sure. We're getting probably about 60% of our power to heat the house and to run everything else over the course of the year. I've now had it in long enough, I can kind of see how it adds up. So yeah, it's about what I expected. Yeah, I think what people need to realize is that if you are running a heat pump like we are, that during the winter period, you're going to run up a bigger bill because, of course, there's not a lot of sun in the winter. But a lot of that gets made back up during the brighter parts of the year. So October or April to October, you'll get a big credit on your bill every month, and then you'll use that up during the winter period. I think the first thing is getting to the end of the summer and seeing you built up this huge credit. That's kind of nice. And just realizing from an emissions point of view that the entire time that you have been running this thing is you're not consuming gas to heat your house. That's a nice feeling. It was one of the major drivers for me was to get off gas because of the emissions associated with it. And halfway through May, you end up having twice as much power produced as the entire month of January. That's just the reality of living in a northern climate. But you really do make up for it in the brighter parts of the year. Yeah, now I look at it more when there's been a big string of really cloudy days. I'm curious how it's doing, or if it's been really sunny, especially in the spring. It's like, what's the record-setting day so far this year? And it was like last week, not surprisingly, right? We're into May now, so it was a sunny, very sunny day about a week ago. Was like the highest production day for the entire year so far. So yeah, it's kind of fun to look at that stuff. No, I haven't had any service needs at all. Everything's run, from the day we turn it on. It's just running and works fine. So no one's been here. I'm in an urban environment. All I had really was the roof of my garage. But if it was anyone else, I'd say go for the largest amount of solar area that you can, because once you're into the wiring and the charge controller and all that kind of thing, you might as well maximize the number of panels that you put in. In particular, pay attention to the incentives that are available, low interest or zero interest loans, subsidies from government or direct grants. There's lots of stuff available. It takes a little bit of time to figure it all out. But it's worth spending the time to do so. It's also nice to know that if you decide to sell your house, this is here in Toronto because of the low interest or zero interest loan that was available, but it does give you the option, because it is a utility attached to your house, just to pass that ongoing cost until it's paid off onto a new owner, which is kind of a nice way to do it. Put it out of sight, out of mind. But it's kind of what you want, right? You don't want to be thinking every day, is this thing running, or do I have to be maintaining it? You just want it to work to provide you with the electricity that you need. But the new ones are so much more efficient. I have a huge array of these old panels at my cabin, and I could replace the entire array with 2 new panels that I would pay $150 each for. Once you have it in place and once you are familiar with the operation of it, you really only need to interact with it as much as you want to. So folks that are really interested in how the system's working every day and stuff, you can obsess about monitoring it, looking at the software and banking the data and comparing it and doing all that kind of stuff. And if you just want your electricity to work, you can just do that and ignore it.